Hello everyone, how are you? Let me explain about the objective of this session. I have started creating sessions for explaining some of the rules for Portuguese languages. Before going deep into the course content and how you have to progress along with the course, let me explain a little more about the geography Latin America. Latin America, which is well known as South America, is a group of almost 20 countries where Spanish and Portuguese is the predominantly languages people speak. There are people who speak English, but if you are coming to the Latin America and if you want to do some business, if you want to work or if you want to stay some time here, it's better to learn the language. In this course, basically I am focusing more on the Portuguese, not on the Spanish. And later, hopefully, I wish I could focus more on the Spanish also. But let's start going deep into the course content of this session and we can see how we can start learning Portuguese. So if you want to know more about me, you can connect me on the social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, which I have provided the link. Let's start deep and dive into the course content, and let's see how we can progress learning Portuguese. Brazil. When we talk about Brazil, people start talking about football, Neymar, tourist places. But the most important part, we need to understand that Brazil speak Portuguese. So if you go to any part of the Brazil, 95% populations speak Portuguese. So if you're roaming around inside Brazil or you are doing any business or you are working here for your daily life or you talk your business, you need to speak Portuguese. Yes, there are people in the metropolitan city like Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro where some people speak English, but it's not enough for you to survive. So learning Portuguese is very important if you are targeting to relocate to the Brazil. But is it very difficult? I can say yes. Can we learn? Of course, yes. What I need to do? You need to just spend some time learning Portuguese and no more. It's not difficult. But if you don't want to spend some time on Portuguese, it's going to be a really tough work for you to understand Portuguese because the Portuguese languages has a different kind of sounds that we will discuss it later in the course content, not in the today's sessions. But of course, if you want to spend some of the time to learning Portuguese language, and when you are here in the Brazil, you start listening people and see what they are speaking out. Try to understand some of the verbs which they are using in their general life. It's easily that you can start learning Portuguese and start speaking Portuguese in few weeks and a month. It happens to me. When I was here in Brazil, I was not able to understand nothing because of their nasal sounds. So what I did started learning some of the rules, some of the verbs, some of the basics, you can say basics understandings of how the people are using which words where. So about connecting all these things, I started understanding some of the parts and then started speaking some of the Portuguese languages. But the most important part is taking a class. I have started taking class when I was here in Brazil. So since 6 months, I have taken some of the class and I have started learning, and I'm providing here what are the challenges I have faced during learning my Portuguese language. So let's start, and today we are focusing on some of the very important rules in Portuguese language. The official language of Brazil is Portuguese. So if you see some of the words here, bom dia, legal, você fala português. So these words are not difficult to understand. You just have to spend some time with Portuguese language. You need to talk to people. You need to listen people when you are in Brazil. And before coming here, if you have already taken a classes or if you have already done some kind of investigation to learn and to speak it out Portuguese, it's very good. But if you are here and if you don't know this is the class, you can start taking and learning your Portuguese language. So today we are going to focus very important part of the Portuguese language, that is we call verb conjugations. But before learning verb conjugations, we know to understand what are the pronouns which are replacing the nouns exist in Portuguese. Let me explain one thing. If you are learning Portuguese, it's very easy for you to understand Spanish and Italian languages. So if you see like a Spanish, Portuguese and Italian, these languages are interrelated. They have the same rules, they have the same conjugations rules. Might be the syntax are different, the rules are different, the words are different, but it's quite similar to each others. So if you're learning one of these languages, you can learn others very easily. Let's focus on Portuguese and let's go ahead for the today's session. So now here we are focusing on pronouns and verb conjugations. First of all, I am not going to make you more boring about just presenting a plain PPT with some of the text. This is not my idea. My idea is entirely different. I am going to make an interactive kind of a sessions. So from the next PPT, you can see how I am presenting my classes and how I am presenting my some of the understanding for the verb conjugations. But before understanding verb conjugation, if I correlate the same thing in English, for example, if I say I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, these are the verb conjugations for different kind of persons. For the first person, for the second person, for the third persons. In Portuguese also we have this kind of rule. So but understanding how this rule will change, we need to understand how many type of pronouns or how many type of persons we have in Portuguese. Basically we have many type of pronouns. Basically we are focusing only those basic types which are required to understand our basic communications. I don't want to make you more bored just about explaining some of the word and showing some just white PPT with some black words. So let's go to the next session, next PPT, and I will show you how we use these persons and the conjugation with the particular person. For example, first person, second person or third person. This is very important. Sometimes people say, why you have started directly from here? I know people sometimes like to understand how to say hi, how to say hello, how to say bye, how to say thank you. I think these are the things you can learn easily from any of the net. Even I'm going to create a session for those. Since this is my first session, I have chosen a very difficult topic which I have faced a little bit challenge to understand. So I want you to learn in a very fast way. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the next slide. Okay, we see here in the pronoun sections we have subjective pronouns, that is a part of pronouns in Portuguese, and we have basically six subjects. We can say first person, second person, third person, for singular and plural. So when we see I, it's like first person singular. When I see you, it's a second person singular. When I see you, it might be a second person plural. When I say he, she, it's a third person singular. When I say you, it's a second person plural. And when I say they, it's like a third person plural. But what about this, which is in the white background, say a gente? Oh, this is a Brazilian way to say we. That is a first person plural. And this is a special conjugation that is a different rules to conjugate the verbs. We will explain this agency more in the next slide. But what we are going to target here, we are going to make the rules. Okay, so the verb conjugations depend upon the person. Is it a first person? If it is a second person, if it is a third person, and depend upon the singular and plural, the verb conjugation changes. So if you see in Portuguese, how can I see I? How can you see you, he, she, we, you, they, and we? Eu, você, ele, ela, nós, vocês, eles, elas. So these are the Portuguese subjective pronouns which need a conjugation of the verb, and they have a rules for conjugations. A gente is a special type of word which only use in Brazil. If you talk a gente in Portugal, people will not able to understand you. So they use nós. But here, if you're talking about nós, it's like people can understand, but it looks weird. So people use a gente. So if you're here in Brazil and if you people talk more about a gente, you think they're talking about we. Okay. So let's go to the next slide and understand what are the rules. Okay, we have two kind of verbs in Portuguese. We say regular verb and irregular verb. Here I have explained about regular verb. Regular verb has three types of verb which ends with ar, er, and ir. Falar, to speak; morar, to live; comer, to eat; beber, to drink; assistir, to watch; pedir, to order. So if you see, these verbs are ending with ar, er, and ir, and these are regular verbs. When I talk about regular verbs, that means they have a similar rules and regulations for conjugations of the verbs with the persons, with the person, with the pronouns, subjective pronouns. So what are the rules and regulations we have? But here we are not discussing right now about irregular verbs, because irregular verbs has a little bit of weird conjugations and they changes, they don't follow the rules. So we will talk more about irregular verbs also in the next slides, but let's focus more on the regular verbs. So in the regular verbs, first we will see how the conjugation work for AR, verbs ending in AR, how it is working in verbs ending in ER, and how the conjugation is working in verbs ending in IR. Let's see the verbs ending in AR. So the regular verb, which is verb ending with AR, we have many verbs. I have just given some of the examples, and on the top of the header you can see like you have subjective pronouns that eu, você, ele, ela, nós, vocês, ele, eles, elas, and a gente. If you see eu, it's like a first person singular; você, second person singular; ele, ela is a third person singular; then first person plural nós, second person plural vocês, and third person plural is eles, elas. And the last one again is similar to first person plural, but the conjugation rule is different. It's a gente. So see the verb falar. The falar verb end with ar. So the conjugations work like this, removing the ar and replacing the ar with the red mark of the letters. For example, how can I see? I speak. Falar means to speak. Morar means to leave. Chegar means to arrive. So if I'm talking about I speak, I say you follow, because with the conjugation ar will be replaced by o. So I can say you follow. If you see on the down, I have put some example like eu falo espanhol. I speak Spanish. Você fala. Você fala. Você fala. Because the conjugation with the você is removing the ar with the letter a. So we say você fala. Você fala inglês. Você fala inglês. In Portuguese, basically in how you say English is inglês. So we say você fala inglês. Or you can also ask você fala inglês. Ele, ela means she, he. Ele, he, ela, she. Ele fala espanhol. He speaks Spanish. Ella fala español. She speaks Spanish. Or you can ask like, ella fala inglés. That means she speaks English. That nos falamos español. We speak Spanish. Of course, we speak Spanish. I don't know. But I'm going to explain you a very important rule here. Remember, I told you we don't use in Brazil nós, we use a gente. But the conjugation of verb is a different when we use nós and when we use a gente. When we use a gente, it's similar to second person singular or third person singular. That's why on the subject mark I have put it você, ele, ela and a gente in the black color, so that their conjugations are same. If you see voces, voces is a second person plural and elis, elas is a third person plural. They have a similar conjugations. That's why in the example I have just created only 4 conjugations. That is, eu falo espanhol. If you go to the down for falar, I have created only 4 lines. Eu falo espanhol. Você fala inglês. Ele fala inglês. Ela fala inglês. Or a gente fala inglês. That means você, ele, ela, a gente use the same rule for the conjugations. And it's not for the present tense, it's for all the tenses. Nós falamos espanhol, vocês, eles, elas falam português. You see? Eu moro em São Paulo. Morar means to live. I live in São Paulo. Você mora no Rio de Janeiro. You live in Rio de Janeiro. Ela mora. Ele mora. Ok? Nós moramos perto da praia. It's a little bit different, but don't worry. You need to understand nós moramos means we live perto da praia is near to the beach. Vocês moram em Bahia. You live in Bahia. Bahia is another state in Brazil. So if you see the verb conjugations, we have only 4 structure. For eu, then você, ele, ela, a gente has a similar rule. Then nós, then vocês, eles, elas has the similar rule. So we are going to divide from now only 4 conjugations rules. First is first person singular is a one conjugation rule, that is eu falo, eu moro, eu saio. Then second person singular, third person singular has the similar rule, that is você fala, ele, ela fala, você mora, ele, ela mora, você chega, ele, ela chega. And also a gente use this conjugation. So we have to include a gente also in this conjugation. So você, ele, ela and a gente use the same conjugation. I will explain the another table which I have just created 4 conjugation rules, and I have removed the 6 conjugations rules, but to start of this session I have just created the 6 conjugations rules. So I think it's a little bit difficult to understand for you, but okay, if you spend some time to understand these verb conjugations, to read this slide, you will able to understand. This is very easy. Eu falo, você fala, ele fala, ela fala, a gente fala, nós falamos, vocês falam, eles, ela falam. So we have only 4 conjugations. Eu moro, você mora, ele, ela mora, a gente mora, nós moramos, vocês moram, eles, elas moram. Chegar. It's very easy. Remove the air and put the conjugations words. Eu chego, você chega, ele, ela chega, a gente chega, nós chegamos, vocês chegam, eles, elas chegam. Now, if you go to the example where I have put some sentences for chegar, I have written eu chego cedo means I arrive early. Você chega tarde means you are late, or you reach, or you arrive late, or you arrive some like afternoon sometimes say, but it's not like the similar word. We can understand like você chega tarde means you are late. Nós chegamos atrasado. Uh, we are late actually. The word itself, the sentence itself telling that we are late means we arrive late. Atrasado is like we are not having on the same time, we are lagging behind with the time, so we use the word atrasado. So nos llegamos atrasado means we reach late, not on the time. So actually the meaning of this sentence is we are late. So we say nós chegamos atrasado, or você chega tarde, or nós chegamos tarde is we are late, you are late. Quando você chega, você me liga. Oh, this is another sentence like when you reach, you call me. So here, if you see the second sentence, você me liga, it's here we are not using you for me. You are using the word me. This is another pronoun which we will learn in the next session. But for the time, we are just learning the pronouns and the verb conjugation for the present tense. Okay. So this is the conjugation for the regular verb ending with er. Let's continue to the next slide, and let's see how we will do the verb conjugation ending with er. So if you see, again I have created the 6 tables because you should understand the verb conjugation with each and every pronouns, either it's singular or plural. Comer, eu como, você come, ele come, ela come, nós comemos, vocês comem, elas comem, a gente come. Beber, eu bebo, você bebe. What is the meaning of beber, comer? Okay, these are the verbs. These are the regular verbs. Comer means to eat, beber means to drink, receber means to receive, viver means to live. Here, to live means is not living in Sao Paulo or living here. It's living, viver means something like about your life. Perder means, I think it's to forget. So, if you do this verb conjugations for er, we have to remove the er, and it's similar for the first person singular. It's like eu como or eu bebo. We have to just add o. But in the verb conjugation of er, we use for verb conjugations of er, we use a and e. So falar, você fala. Here, comer, você come. You understand? So it's basically the same rule, but we are interchanging the word. If it is ending with ar, conjugation will be with a. If it is ending with er, conjugation will be with e. Eu como, você come, ele e ela come, nós comemos, você come, eles e elas comem, e a gente come. So you can see this verb conjugations in details and try to reach it out to the more verbs and try to write it down. But here again, if you see the rules, we have only 4 conjugations. Eu como, você, ele, ela come, ora a gente come, nós comemos, vocês, eles, elas comem. So we have only 4 conjugations. This 4 conjugations we are going to put it into the next slide, but right now I have put it into the different conjugations so that you can understand. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can write me any comments, any question, any suggestions, feedback in the comment section of this video, and I will try to incorporate and give you answer here in the comment itself, or try to incorporate some of the improvement in my next lessons. Okay, so if you're talking about the verb conjugations, regular verb ending with higher, I haven't given any example for er because I don't had any space in that slides, but it's good. It's okay. You can create some of the example, or you can look for some of the verb conjugations with those verbs. Assistir is to watch, and also sometime it's to help, but I say you just focus. Assistir is to watch. And here on the downside I have given some examples. So here is a similar thing. The verb conjugation is with ir. So conjugation use the word e and I. How it's used the e and I can show you. Like, eu assisto filme no Netflix. I watch a film in Netflix. Você, ele, ela, a gente assiste filme no Netflix. Like, you, he, she, or we watch a movie in Netflix. So if you see the conjugation, we have voces, ele, ela, agente. We have the similar conjugations for the verb. If you're talking about nós assistimos filme no Netflix, it's different. It's only for nós. I can say a gente assiste filme no Netflix is equivalent to nós assistimos filme no Netflix. That means we watch a film in Netflix. Vocês, eles, ela assistem filme no Netflix. Now, the second word is dormir. Dormir is again a word which is end with ir, but here there is a problem. Here the first conjugations change. It's not dormo, it's durmo. So if you see, it's dormir, but eu durmo, você dorme, ele, ela dorme, nós dormimos, vocês dormem, eles, elas dormem, a gente dorme. I cannot say it's an irregular because it used the pattern of regular, but only for the first person. It's changed the spelling of the word, like you dormo, and why? I will explain. Please let me know into the to the comment section, and I will try to explain why. Okay, because if I try to explain it here, might it's difficult for you to understand. But yes, you will going to understand this into the next lessons when we are talking about the Brazilians nasal sounds. Okay, so eu durmo cedo. I sleep early. Vocês, ele, ela, a gente dorme logo depois de jantar. Logo depois de jantar means just after the dinner. Nos dormimos juntos. Oh, it's weird. We sleep together. Brazil, if you see, like, it's weird, but yeah, it's a good sentence. We don't have any problem in the sentence, but it seems like it's weird. Nos dormimos juntos. Like, we sleep together. We should not. Okay. Vocês, eles, elas dormem menos. Again, it looks like weird, but it's good. The sentence is good. Like, they or Joe sleep less. You have to sleep at least 6 hours, otherwise your health will be down. So these are the conjugations of verbs ending with ir, and let's see to the next slide what is there. Okay, so here in the verb conjugations, remember I have told you that we have 6 columns. Now I have divided those 6 columns into the 4 columns because the verb conjugations rules is going to follow only this per pattern. So we will have in the future also for 4 conjugations when we are going to talk about irregular verbs, or we are going to talk about future, past, or other kind of tenses or other kind of time related verb conjugations. So I think this is all the rule for the verbs which ends with ar, er, and ir. So if you see here, eu, whatever the verbs, it has a similar rule. If you go to the vocês, ele, ela, a gente, with the verb ending with ar, it conjugate a. With the verb er or ir, it conjugate e. Nós falamos, similar here. It's like falamos, moramos, segamos. Sorry, I have missed out the a in segamos. Comemos, bebemos, recebemos, vivemos, perdemos, assistimos, dormimos. So it's for the nós. Vocês, eles, elas. It's a similar. It's am, em, and im. Depend upon the verb ar, er, and ir. So we have only 4 conjugations. So now the Portuguese conjugation is easy. We have to only focus only on the 4. And again, when again I'm talking about, because here in the Brazil people talk a lot of things about a gente. We don't speak nós. We don't speak not falamos. Because a gente fala. Okay, so okay, a gente fala. It's like not nós falamos. But yes, if you speak nós falamos, people will understand and they accept it. But it's more formal. So when you're talking about here, when they're talking, they use a lot of the words like a gente fala, a gente mora, a gente sega, a gente come, a gente baby. See? So I think this is well enough, and I would like everyone to see this video and let me know what you have learned from this video. Do you like it video? If you have any suggestions, if you have any problems, any feedbacks, please let me know. I will try to give you some of your answers on the comment sections and try to improve as per as your feedback into the next session. Sorry, I have just created very fast this video. Might you have feel a lot of errors or something? Please give me a comment. Subscribe this channels. It's very important, and I'm going to provide you some very important rules into the next sessions. Thank you for watching this video.